was
Yes,
lovely to meet you.
You too.
You're a celebrity, by the way.
My team's up there going, he has how many thousand followers?
All right, throw things at him.
Well, sometimes you get one that's like dying to wave at people. So this is Figgy Pudding and Candy Cane and Abby. And these are our 3 reindeer.
So just Abby, huh?
Abby's, we used to have Sugar Plum and Snowflake and Abby. Abby is 12 years old, so she's getting up there.
She's up there, yeah.
Age-wise. These 2 just turned 1.
Oh, you're young.
So these are our new little young ladies that came down to us from a reindeer farm in Alaska. Reindeer are a domestic form of caribou, so they're one of the few domestic animals that we have here that we like to highlight. Reindeer are the first animals ever at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. So they were donated to us, not these 3, because then they'd be really old. But there were some reindeer brought in for a Christmas event by the owners of the Columbus Dispatch, which is our newspaper here. And they donated them afterwards and some land and some money along with the city, for the formation of a zoo.
So they were the very first animals.
Very first animal.
That's awesome.
I love them.
Aren't they cute?
They're really fun. We do encounters with the public with them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a way to...
We're almost at that point of the antlers coming to shed.
We call that the nightmare before Christmas.
It's terrifying. It's scary.
I give the call center a heads up. It's usually around September, beginning of October here, and we always get a call. Hey, one of the reindeers is injured, or if someone knows anything about antlers, we get a call saying that the reindeer gored somebody or something. And it's just that blood supply is dried up, but it's not quite gone when they shed that velvet.
I guess I should mention, so can you explain, what am I talking about?
So right now, the velvet around their antlers contains all the blood supply. It's promoting that bone growth. They do this every single year. And once it's done growing, that velvet will dry up. The blood supply leaves. I don't know exactly what the mechanism is that makes them want to take that off.
So,
do you know?
I do.
I assume it's itchy.
Do.
But
yes.
Okay.
So what happens is, the velvet itself is like just a skin layer,
yes,
right? And underneath that's the blood flow. So what happens is, once they've hit their peak growth for the year, there is somewhat of a histamine response, which makes it itchy. So they're like, hey, get this off of me. And they can feel that, like when you touch that, they feel it.
Yes.
They know that something's happening. So they're like, okay, get this stuff off right now. It itches really bad.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's just a histamine response.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Learning something, people. We're learning something. You're so cute.
Like I do this for a living.
So we're looking at what is going to be our North American river otter exhibit. It looks really big right now. It's going to shrink back to a more normal size. It is a giant pile of dirt. So this has been kind of fun being on this side of it. I've never been in any kind of a construction project like this before. So I have dreams of being there when they do all of the slabs to make sure that everything is pitched towards the drain. And we've combined as a team our favorite things that we've ever seen in an otter exhibit. So over on your right is going to be the deep pool. It's going to be 8 feet deep.
Oof.
With
for
a
river otter?
Yeah.
I love that.
They can dive much deeper.
No, I know. I haven't, like you said, I haven't really seen one that deep.
So I've seen ones that were around at least 6, but we wanted to make it awesome.
Yeah.
The middle bit that you see here is going to be a 4-foot stream, and the pump on it, we're going to be able to control the flow.
Oh,
so when it pours,
it could be,
there'll be a slide into it, and then the pool, we can put it a really fast stream, we can make it down to a trickle, whatever we feel like doing. So obviously someday when we have babies, we'll put it nice and low. We're moving 3 young boys into here, so I have a feeling we'll be ratcheting that up more often than not to really let them play in there. And then on the left-hand side, it'll come down to more like a splash area. But there'll be good views that are good for the animals and good for our guests on all sides. This is another species that was reintroduced in Ohio. So they were completely extirpated from the state. We had a lot of poor water quality, a lot of poor habitat. So 2 things that the zoo is doing, and you can kind of see, you can't. There's a building behind where the otter exhibit is going to be, that is going to be our Ohio Center for Wildlife Conservation. Some of the research that we do here is in eastern hellbenders, which are a great indicator of water quality, right? garter snakes, which are a great indicator of other habitats, but then also freshwater mussels. So
Cool.
the zoo, along with Ohio State, has done a lot of work at reintroducing freshwater mussel species into the state, which is something that river otters feed on. So I just kind of like the whole holistic fixing every part of the habitat and what role does this animal play in it. But otters were first reintroduced back up in the metro parks around Cleveland. They're now pretty common in the state. You can find some not far from here, so that's kind of fun. We like to see those success stories.
I learned about the freshwater mussels at the Tennessee Aquarium. I didn't really know how important they were when I visited there. And hellbenders. It's a salamander species for those that don't know.
Snot otter.
Snot otter. So it's another type of otter.
Yeah.
Not really. It's a salamander.
It's fun to tell this story, but then it's fun to finally be able to highlight the efforts that this zoo has been devoting resources to for a long time, really behind the scenes and unsung. You know, putting those snot otters back into the habitat and releasing those mussels. Our LSS team will go out and dive in the river because that's where the pumps are to bring the river water in for them. So it really involves almost everyone at the zoo in different capacities. So it's kind of nice for them to be highlighted for the work that they do, you know, behind the scenes and in front. So now we're at what is our temporary Mexican wolf habitat. So while we're rebuilding habitats, some of our animals moved to other zoos, some of them stayed here. We have been in the Mexican wolf program for over 30 years now.
Oh, wow.
We have had a couple of puppies here actually go back out into native ranges. We haven't had any recently, and this whole program has moved into cross fostering, which I think is just the coolest. Wolves can't really count, and they don't seem to care if extra puppies show up. So biologists out in Arizona and New Mexico monitor all those dens. We're usually pretty good at telling like when we're gonna have puppies. So we see if we can link them up, and anywhere in like the range of the same day through, I wanna say 10 to 14 is the range that the ages can be off. They'll take your puppies, they fly overnight on a private plane.
Oh, wow.
Out there, Light Hawk is the-
I've never been on a private plane.
I know,
so,
me neither.
I mean, must be nice.
Yep.
What is their population status right now? Like, how are they doing?
So right now, there are still more wolves in human care than there are out in the Southwest and in Mexico. But we're still keeping them as an assurance population. Overall, we're well over 500 wolves now. We're increasing the number of releases every year. When you do adult releases, they're usually afraid of people for the first couple of months, but not afraid enough.
I see.
So that makes it a little bit dangerous for them because they will try to scare you away. And so that makes it look like they are aggressive. And they're not. They don't want you near them, but they don't know enough yet to just
go away.
To just go away.
Run away.
So they have to learn that. That's really the benefit of cross fostering. When you put those puppies out there into a den, mom teaches them those things. And so there are wolves that were cross fostered that have had babies, and their babies have had babies.
Wow.
So we're at the point where we know that cross fostering is a success. All of the techniques that we use in wolves, they tried in gray wolves first. Our Mexican wolf population is descended from 7 founders. There weren't any opportunities to trial and error things with such a small group. Same with the red wolves. So trialing that in gray wolves allowed them to perfect the technique and apply it to another species that really needed the help.
Did you say protect the technique?
Perfect the technique.
Perfect the technique?
Yeah.
I don't know why that gave me some kind of like old 90s rap reference.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the
Don't
technique.
sweat the technique.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
All right. Anyways, I'm done. That's it for me. I'll just go now. That's embarrassing. I heard it. I was like, wait. I'm sorry. That was a complete tangent.
This is the story of my life. Non sequitur should be my middle name.
Nikki, thank you so much for your time today. I did have one last question for you.
Yes.
What keeps you coming to work every day?
Well, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, I think I had the same dream that all of us had. Like I wanted to go and work with the animals. I wanted to make a difference, and that's still there. But I had an intern, and on like her second day, she said, I don't want to do this. And at first I was kind of offended because I worked really hard to get to where I was. And then it kind of dawned on me that what we all do is individual. And so my passion as I've moved into a curatorial role is to ask my keepers what they want to be when they grow up. Do they want to be our IR to the Mexican wolf population? Do they want to get involved in that side? Do they want to be a manager? Do they want to be the best trainer they could possibly be? So what keeps me coming back every day is that passion for my team, and what do they want to do, and how can I help them get there? That's something I've always enjoyed helping with.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. It was lovely to meet you.
You too.
You're a celebrity, by the way.
My team's up there going, he has how many thousand followers?